Hello, everybody. Good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the fifth International Marathon, the fifth edition of this Google for Education International Marathon, organized um, by Global GG, helping out GG Mexico, along with the NRPA. So today we have two wonderful sessions. We have Tracy Miller from Duolingo and John Smith from Book Creator. So I'm gonna remind you a couple of things that you have to consider for this live session. So one of the things that you have to know is that each of these sessions can give you a certificate for attendance. And also we have simultaneous sessions on the GEG Mexico channel. And for you to remember that it's at the same time as this, but you don't have to, have two devices on at the same time. You can just wait and see the sessions that after they're done because they're gonna stay recorded. So all of our sessions have gifts or swag available. And if you have any questions, and our presenter has time for them to answer while it's going on, it's gonna be fine. But if you keep it for the ending, it might not be answered because we have a schedule to keep. Okay, so make sure you interact in the comment section of the YouTube live for you to be able to ask your questions along as the presentation is going. Now, don't forget that to get your certificate, sorry, you need to fill out Google Forms that we're gonna send out at the end with the link for the feedback, and you're going to have to validate with three keywords that are gonna be shared throughout the session. All right, so keep that in mind. So don't forget to visit our site to check out all the program sessions for the week, and don't forget in the end to have a lot of fun. Okay, so that's what you need to have. Um, right now, I'm gonna invite over to our screen to our first presenter, which is Tracy Miller. So Tracy is gonna be here with you. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen right now. Tracy, welcome, Tracy. Are you excited?
Hi, I'm so excited. I'm always
I'm
excited to
very
talk
excited.
about Duolingo. Yeah.
I started with Duolingo to practice my Japanese because I took Japanese lessons a couple of years ago. But then I gave up on it. And
Oh,
yeah, I know. But during the pandemic, I started on German. So I've been practicing my German. Now, I'm very good at it right now.
nice. I'm not very good at Spanish either, but I was doing Spanish on Duolingo.
Yeah.
We actually test most things in French because a lot of people at Duolingo know Spanish, but not a
All
lot know
right.
French. So we actually learn French for work. So now I'm learning
That's
French on
nice.
Duolingo. Yeah.
That's nice. I actually took some French lessons a while back too. And maybe I can keep it up with the Duolingo. I have my account. I have. Yeah, but I've broken my how they call it?
Streak. You're
Yeah, my
streak.
streak.
Yeah.
I have broken my streak.
No time like the present to get started again.
Yeah, that is true. So I'm gonna share your screen. I'm gonna get out of here. I'll come back when it's like 5 minutes in case we're straight with time. Okay.
Sounds great.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. All right. All right. So I'm Tracy. I am on the Duolingo for Schools team. I do all things that are kind of not product. So I do marketing, I do community, I do support, and just I think a little bit about me, if I can get my slideshow to work. So I have a PhD in education policy. I was a teacher for a while in St. Louis, Missouri. I also was an instructional coach, and I was on the school board here, just sort of the governing body of the city of St. Louis. And then after that, I went and worked at Khan Academy for a little while. I spent about a year in at Class Dojo at the beginning of the pandemic, and then I started at Duolingo exactly 1 year ago today. So you're getting me on my 1 year anniversary. And so what I'm going to talk about is a product called Duolingo for Schools. So you can check it out now or later if you go to schools.duolingo.com. And really, what I'm going to talk about is just sort of how to get started, how to get set up on Duolingo for schools. So if you're not familiar with Duolingo for schools, we are we're a set of teacher tools that sits on top of the Duolingo app. So most, especially most language teachers, are familiar with Duolingo. Not everyone knows that we have tools that teachers can use to create classrooms, organize students into those classrooms, create assignments, and then follow student progress as they sort of go along their language learning journey on Duolingo. So that's Duolingo for schools, and that's what I'm going to talk about. This is just the home screen. So once you get in, you'll have a dashboard. You can see in this top frame that this is an empty dashboard. There are no students, but I'm going to talk through a couple of different ways to get your students into those classrooms. So to get started, once you create a classroom and you can name it, you can see here I've got my French 2 period 4 classroom. You can invite students several ways. So one way would be with a link. So if you have students who already have Duolingo accounts, they can just go to this link and they will automatically be added to your classroom. You can also send them this link and then they can have their Duolingo accounts created. So whether they have their own Duolingo accounts already or not, they're going to get right in there. You can also add them directly. So you can create accounts for students. So if you copy and paste their names, and if you have email addresses for them, you can paste their email addresses in here. You can just type them in, you can copy them, and then they will pop up and you can create their accounts. If they already have Duolingo accounts, we're not going to create extra ones. So you can see that in this example, B already has an account associated with this email address. So we'll say the student's already on Duolingo. We're going to send them an invitation to join your classroom so that they don't get extra accounts created. Once you have students in your classroom, then this is what it might look like. So in this classroom, in my French 2 period 4 class, you can see that 12 students have already accepted my invitation. 2 students are still pending. So if I want to, I can go, right on this page and resend that invitation. Or I can click on their names and I'll show you, you can send them a link directly if you wanted to do that as well. So if I click on a student who's in my class, you can see information about that student specifically. So here I've selected Lily, and on this right-hand bar, I can see Lily's email address. I can send her login again, and I can see some information about Lily. So I can see how many XPs she's gotten since she joined my classroom. I can see how much time she has spent on Duolingo since she joined my classroom. And I can see how she's performed on past assignments. So this really just gives completion information. So it says, out of the 20 assignments that we've had so far, Lily completed 12. She was late to complete 4 of them, but she got them turned in. And then she's missed 4 of the 20 assignments. And then you can't see all of it, but right underneath there, you can see all the activity that student that student has done on Duolingo. So here it starts to say Lily completed lesson 3 of level 2 in directions. And so you can tell exactly what activity Lily has engaged in on Duolingo. So whether you've assigned it or not, all the information is in there for you. If I had clicked on that send login link for Lily, then I would get this magic link. And it's magic because if they go there, even if they've, lost their login information or whatever, it'll take them right to their account to get into their account and into your classroom. So these are sort of like magic login links that you can send to your students, because we know sometimes it's hard to get students to, get their login information all organized. All right. So the tab that we were on just now was the students tab. So that's where you can get all that information about your classroom or about individual students. If you want to check out the curriculum, then you're going to go to this Assign tab. And on this Assign tab, you'll be able to see all the different skills in Duolingo. So if you use Duolingo yourself, you know that our curriculum is a set of skills or little circles that have names like introduction or greetings or travel, like you see here. And so you can see all of those different skills here as a teacher in this curriculum tab. So once you get all those skills in there, you can see that you can also select stories. So you could see any of the stories that are inside of that curriculum as well from this page. Um, but this is the skills tab. You can also assign specific skills, or you can assign XP, or you can assign stories. But really quickly, I'm going to just show you what what else this course page has. So you can see the different words that are encompassed in each of these skills. So they're all listed here. But you can also see the course overview. So you can see that in this particular course, there are 5,372 words that students could learn. There are 9 units. There are 188 skills. There are 275 stories. And we are aligning with CEFR levels A1 through B1. And there's a whole lot of information, I should also say, in our help center. I believe I linked to it at the end. I can show you all that link. But if you go to schools.duolingo.com, you can find the help button. It'll be under your classrooms over here on the left-hand sidebar. But all the information that you might want to know about what are skills if you haven't used Duolingo very often, or what are these CEFR levels and how can I use them with schools? All that information is available to you. So this is what the same page looks like if you select stories instead of skills. So if you've done stories on Duolingo, you'll know that they're pretty fun. They're just bite-sized snippets of dialogue that really help put language learning into context. And so you can check out those stories and you can assign specific stories to your students from this page. You can also find tips on this curriculum page. So if you've done Duolingo, you might know that there are sort of tips that pop up, usually with grammar information. So you can see as a teacher which tips your students are going to encounter inside of the course directly from your curriculum or your page or your assigned tab. Now I'm just going to go to your reports tab. So if you had assignments created, this is where you would see that information. Right now, there are no assignments. So what you would do is create a new assignment. You can, like I mentioned, assign different types of material. So you could assign specific skills. So that's what this practice a Duolingo skill option is. You could assign a specific story. So you can tell students, go and read this specific story on Duolingo and interact with those questions. Down here at the bottom, you can sort of start to see that you can also assign XP. If you create an XP assignment, then students can do anything that they want on Duolingo that they get XP for. They could read a story, they could listen to a podcast, they could do some of these audio lessons in certain courses. And as long as they get XP, then it'll count toward the completion of that assignment. If you do want to assign XP, you can choose how many XP, and you'll also see a little bit later on, you'll be able to select the time frame over which you want them to get that XP. We also, if you aren't familiar with XP are just, experience points. It's a lot like a game because Duolingo, even though it's super effective, is a little bit game-like. And so you can sort of see how many minutes of work approximately each amount of XP will equate to. So if you want students to do, let's say, 30 minutes of work each week outside of class, and you wanted to assign that as homework, you could select 75 XP. It says about 30 minutes of work. And then you could create that assignment and make it due at the end of the week. You can also create assignments that are specific skills. So if you didn't want to do XP, if you wanted to assign specific material, a skill, or a story, you can filter it by unit. You can find the specific skill that you want them to interact with. You can select a number of lessons that you want them to complete. And then you can go ahead and select the classes that you want to assign this to. So whether it's XP or a skill assignment or a story assignment, you can create it for a single class, or you can create it for multiple classes and assign them all at once. And then you can select the date that they are due. If you're in Duolingo for schools right now, you might notice that some of these things are a little bit different already. I updated this deck, I think I don't know, I sent it over earlier this week or last week, and we've already made some updates. So one example is this date picker was being a little finicky with some folks. And so actually this screen might look a little bit different now, and you're able to select not only a date but also a start and end time for each assignment. So that's something that might be either on your screen or coming soon to an assignment modal near you. And then you will end up with a reports page that looks like this. So on this page, we've got some assignments that were already created. These are ongoing or current assignments. And these assignments are ones that are already past the due date underneath. So you can see that we've got two different 100 XP assignments here. And we've got a skill assignment on the road. Now, if I wanted to know some specific information about how my class has performed on the road skill assignment, I can select it. So it's gray right now, which means I've selected it. And over here on the right, I can go ahead and see how many students have completed the assignment. So 4 of the students have completed it, 2 have started it but not completed it yet, and 13 haven't started. And then I can actually go through my list of students in my class and see which students have started, which haven't started, and which have completed it. And so I've got, looks like Eddie has already completed it, Lily has just started, B has just started, Lucy's completed it, and I could go down my whole roster and see which students have begun and which students have finished. So then I also just wanted to quickly touch on our settings tab. And so you can change your classroom code, which is the code that students can use to get into your room. You can adjust your classroom name. You can adjust the languages that your students speak or that they're learning. You can also re-download your setup instructions if you need to hand those out to your class again. The other thing that you can do is adjust your privacy settings. And so this is really important, especially if you have, younger students. Duolingo has some features that aren't necessarily social features, but like our discussion forums are a place where you can go to talk to other Duolingo users about Duolingo. And if you don't want students to be able to interact with other users in those forums, then you can turn those off. You can also turn off the events page. Duolingo events are these sort of like in-person meetups, or not in person right now because it's pandemic, but online Zoom meetups where people practice the languages that they're learning. And so if you don't want students to participate in those with other folks, then you can go ahead and turn those off, and also friend requests and leagues. And then there's content settings. And so we know that, there's not inappropriate content necessarily on Duolingo, but there may be content that you don't want your students to interact with. So sentences like, I would like a beer, maybe not appropriate for classroom context. So you can turn that off. All of these settings, when you create a classroom, are off to begin with. So any student who joins your classroom, these things, they won't be able to participate in any of these things unless you actively go in there and make it so the students can do that. We want to protect students' privacy at all costs. So if you do want them to be enabled, then you can go into your privacy settings and select these different options. That's a little bit about Duolingo for schools. I was quickly going to go through what this would look like for students. So students, if they get an assignment or if they complete an assignment or if they join a classroom, they'll get emails as long as they actually receive emails. So this is just a little bit what it looks like for students. For students who are in the Duolingo for Schools classrooms, their experience looks just like regular Duolingo. Nothing changes. The only thing that is slightly different is that there is an assignments section on the side um, of their homepage if they are on the website, not if they are on the app. If they're on the app, everything they do still counts toward their assignment, but it won't show up yet. We are working on the student mobile experience right now. But students are just working inside the regular Duolingo app. So that's something that's really nice. Teachers don't have to wonder if it's going to look different. It looks like the old Duolingo that you know. They are just working inside of that. So these are the emails that they get. These are the emails they get if they have completed an assignment or if they get an assignment. Um, and then the very last thing is that we have resources for teachers. So if you are on Pinterest or Teachers Pay Teachers, you can find some ideas for that you might want to use in your classroom. We have different like printables. We're getting some lesson plan templates together. We also have these sort of like quick ideas for how to use Duolingo. So you can check those out. If you go to Pinterest or Teachers Pay Teachers and search for Duolingo for schools, you should be able to find us. I think we aren't doing the best job at being really findable yet, but the more of you who go and find us and download our resources, the better it'll get. But we're just getting that up and running. Also, these are just some examples of, for example, stories that you or games that you might see in our help center or on Teachers Pay Teachers or Pinterest. So one example is if you only have a couple of devices in a classroom or in a group setting, you could have your students sit in a circle with one device, have the student who has the device read out loud, so they're getting that practice with speaking skill. And then the group has to discuss and decide on the correct answer. And then once the person with the device enters the answer, then you sort of pass it around, and you go into different students who are sort of leading the group activity. You can also have small groups of students. If you have a couple of devices, you could create smaller groups and then have them race to finish their lessons. And so these are types of ideas that we might have both in Pinterest, Teachers Pay Teachers, and in our help center. And then one of my favorite places on the internet is our Facebook group. We're really still kind of just getting up and running, but this is where we are inviting teachers who use Duolingo, language teachers everywhere, teachers who have students who speak other languages or for whom learning languages is important. Join us on Facebook. You can see the link up there, facebook.com/groups/Duolingo educators. Everyone on our Duolingo for Schools team is in there. Our engineers are in there. Our designers are in there. I'm in there. And then a bunch of our teachers are in there. And there's questions, there are events, there are resources that are shared there. And so it's a really fun place for collaborating with your peers and with our team. And that, I think, is about it. I don't know if there are, time for questions or anything else, but
There was
that's
a few, there was a question if Duolingo is free
it's
when you
free.
have it for
I'm
schools.
sorry. Yes, everything's free. Duolingo for Schools is free. And I'm not even, I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but I will tell you a secret, which is, because we believe so strongly that the student experience should be the best one possible, you also don't have ads. So if you've used Duolingo, you might know that unless you subscribe to the Duolingo Plus, sometimes there are little ads that pop up. We don't want that for students.
Excellent.
So there's even it's not only free, but there are also perks to using Duolingo for Schools.
I know, it's amazing.
It's
So
amazing.
I was thinking you should add chemistry language. It would be amazing for my class because I teach chemistry.
It would be really cool. I would love to have like, either course specific or even career specific language. I think would be really fun.
Yeah, it would be like, especially because you know how certain um like certain sciences have certain types of words that are unique to that. Like for instance, for me is naming compounds. And so
Yep,
and learning symbols and names of elements, it would be kind of like a vocabulary, you know?
absolutely. I think that would be amazing. I
Yeah,
was a math teacher for most of my career, so
so you
I,
know.
I would love that. Yeah, I would love that.
You know how the certain terms that are like unique, right?
Yes, yeah. If I could get all the geometry terms into a Duolingo course, that would have been great.
All right. So thank you so much for coming, Tracy. I wanted to share this. This is a link to join, right?
That's right.
schools.duolingo.com.
That's it.
Excellent. So in this way, the teacher can join, can add up their students and create their classes, and everything that you just showed us is going to be there. Is that
It's
correct?
gonna be there, that's right. And
That's amazing.
I if you need anything at all, you can find it on the help center, and if you send in a help request, it doesn't just, like, go into a black box, it comes to, like, me and my friend Sarah. So if you need anything at all, we wanna hear your feedback. We're just getting this started. It just launched this past July, so give us all the feedback, get in there, get your hands dirty, let us know how it goes.
So thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for all this amazing information from Duolingo, especially because it's free, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I was a teacher, that's what we need, right? So,
So
absolutely.
yeah, exactly. So that's it. Unless you want to, do you want to plug in your socials for you to get more followers?
Yeah, yeah. So we have a Facebook page and we have a Twitter account. We're still getting those up and running too. You're really getting in on the ground floor. So the Facebook group is really where things are happening. It's that dual or that's the facebook.com/group/Duolingo educators. And then you'll be able to find our Facebook page and our Twitter account from there.
That's amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
So
much. Thanks for having me.
no, thank you. Seriously.
That was great.
We hope you come back for another event where you can show us more.
Anytime.
Thanks. All right, everybody. So it's time for our next guest, and this guy is coming to us from our sponsors of today's sessions. So let's welcome John. Hi, John. How are you?
I'm good. How's everybody doing today?
Well, it's a bit hot from where I'm living right now, but it's it's in between like cold waves. It's
Oh,
a
yeah,
very
that sounds like Ohio, right? I mean, it was 60 something degrees today and pouring down rain, and in 2 days we're supposed to have ice and snow. So, I mean, that's just
yeah.
the way it is.
Well, yeah, I'm further south, but I'm not. I know what you're saying. Yeah, exactly. So, do you have a screen that you want us to share for your
Yeah,
presentation?
absolutely. Let me go ahead and figure that out here for a second. 1 second. Share screen. Yep, share screen. All right. I think this is good. I'm going to move this one out of the way. So you should see my book. I hope. Yeah.
That's the one.
All right. Perfect. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna let you have your 30 minutes, and then if you're overextending, I'll come up 5 minutes before it's time.
All right. Sounds
Right.
good.
Thank you so much.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for being here. I do appreciate it. My name is John Smith. I am the iPod teacher on Twitter. So if you're on Twitter and you want to give me a shout out, great. If not, that's okay. I'm also John Smith at bookcreator.com. Really excited to be here today. I taught special ed for 12 years, mostly fifth and sixth grade. Every once in a while, they threw a kindergarten class in there just to make sure I was awake and kind of keep me on my toes. Then after that, I was a technology integration specialist for 7 years in another school district. So after 19 years of teaching, I am now a teacher success manager here at Book Creators. So lots of webinars, lots of trainings, sales support, basically anything that I can do to help teachers and students be successful at using Book Creator. That's really what I'm here for. And really excited again to be here and talk about all of the new features in Book Creator. So we're going to go ahead and jump right in. And for those of you that are not aware or have not seen Book Creator before, there is a website that you can go to, which is app.bookcreator.com, or as it says on the screen here, bookcreator.com. You can get to the same place either way. And you can sign up for an account. We do have a free account versus a paid account. So if you just want to get in there and check it out, you can certainly do so. Now, I just give you a little bit of caution because when you get to app.bookcreator.com, our teachers, we get so excited and we just want to start clicking buttons, right? And we want to start playing around with some stuff. But be cautious, because when you first sign in, it's going to take you here to this sign-in page that's yellow, and that is actually our student sign-in. So you want to make sure that you click the button that says Switch to Teacher, and then you're going to sign in and create your account. Now, we're going to answer a few questions, jump through the hoops, and then eventually you will be brought to something that looks like this, all right? And that will be your library that you are going to go ahead and start making books in, and that your students can start making books in. Now, I will say that we are not going to go over all of the features within Book Creator here tonight. We're focusing simply on the newest features. But before we do the new features, I want to share with you some of the resources and ideas and help that you might need if you have never seen Book Creator before. All right. So once you've created this library, if you click the black lines to the top left, that will take you to the teacher dashboard. And here at the teacher dashboard is where all of your books and libraries are going to live. If you're on the free version, you get one library up to 40 books. If you're on the paid version, you get 1,000 libraries, 1,000 books, unlimited libraries. So there's a lot that you can do with those unlimited libraries, but you can do a lot of damage with just those 40 books as well. Now, a lot of times teachers want examples of books and things that they can do in their classrooms. And so this tab across the top here says Discover. And that Discover tab is a wonderful place to go, especially if you are looking for inspiration and ideas for using Book Creator in your classroom. So at the very middle of the page, we have examples by grade level. So you're simply going to click on the grade level of your choice, and then you're going to see these amazing books. And if you click the arrows here to the right, you'll see even more examples. Underneath that, we have books by our ambassadors. So we have a huge group of ambassadors, and they love working with us and making books for us on a wide range of topics. And here they are. So we have everything from differentiation to social emotional learning, digital citizenship. And if you click the arrows, you see even more: science and social studies, math, reading responses, elementary classroom, just so many good ideas here for using Book Creator in your classroom. So I definitely want you to check those out as well. Underneath that, we have books by subject. And so this is probably my favorite section because a lot of times when you think of Book Creator, you think of English, language arts, reading, writing, that kind of stuff. But there are so many other ways that you can use Book Creator across the curriculum. And so there are tons of examples here inside of these subject-specific libraries. So definitely want you to look at those. Now, for those of you that are new to Book Creator and have not had the Book Creator experience just yet, I do want you to take a look at this Learn tab, because the Learn tab is going to give you all of this important information, step-by-step guides to help you through all parts of Book Creator. So if you get confused by something, you can click on these guides and it will give you everything you need to know. We have a specific certified authors course that's really awesome. We have webinars, we have implementation plans, PD templates, and more in this Learn tab. So I want you to take a look there. Now, my next favorite part, specifically for those of you that are just now getting started with Book Creator, and even for those of you that are seasoned veterans, is our certification program. And what's awesome about the certification program is that you can watch 14 videos. They're all short, ranging from about 1.5 minutes to maybe 8 minutes at best, followed by a quiz. If you watch all the videos and then pass the quiz, you will become a Book Creator certified author. And you get this awesome badge that you can download and put into your email signature. But more importantly, you will have that deep, deep understanding of Book Creator. All right, so hopefully that gives you a little bit of background information on Book Creator and enough to kind of pique your interest to get you started if you haven't tried Book Creator yet. And again, in just kind of a nutshell, what is Book Creator? It is a simple way that students from any grade level, any subject, can write and publish their own digital books. So including lots of media like photos and videos and audio buttons and all kinds of stuff. So really excited for you to all, try that out. All right. Now, the next piece that I want to talk about specifically is what we are here for tonight. And that is our section now that says apps. So one of the things that Book Creator has always prided ourselves on is being a simple tool. right? We want students as young as 4 to be able to use Book Creator, but we also want students as old as high school, college, teachers, beyond, right, to be able to make powerful books. And I always kind of say, don't confuse simple for not rigorous. All right, Book Creator is a very simple tool. It looks very simple and it is easy to use, but that doesn't mean it's not powerful. So one of the things that we get from teachers all the time is suggestions, right? And we really love getting suggestions on ways to improve our tool. And so at the same time, we love the suggestions, but we're also trying to find ways to keep Book Creator as simple as possible. We don't want any complex, menus and file systems, and we don't want to get bloated and all that kind of stuff, right? We want Book Creator to be easy. And so we are trying to find a way to balance that. How do we keep it easy, but add some really powerful features that some teachers want? And so our answer was to create our very own app store. And so here in the teacher dashboard, if you click on this button that says apps, you will be brought to our brand new feature, which is our app store. And here in our app store, we actually have 8 different apps that are currently available. The top 4 are available in our free plan. The bottom 4 are available in our paid plan. And so a couple of things that are really awesome here inside of this app store. So when you see an app that you might be interested in, so we'll start with GWfE. When you see an app that you're interested in, you click on it. And then down here at the bottom, there will be a button that says Enable App. And so I'm going to turn that app on. And when I click Enable, it's going to allow me to choose what library I want that app to be turned on. So maybe I have a couple of student libraries where the students can handle adding GIFs to their books, and maybe I have some libraries where students can't. And so I'm going to simply click on the libraries of my choice, or if I want, I can click All. All right, and so I'm going to select All. I'm going to turn this on for everybody, and I'm going to click Done. And then everything is all set. And you can see a little green check mark here that lets me know that that app is ready to be used by my classrooms. Now I'm going to go back into GWfE here for just a second and let you know that there is something available for all of these apps. And I want to talk about it real quick because it's very important, and that is data privacy, all right, and student privacy. I think sometimes as teachers, we get super excited about tools and we don't really focus on the privacy aspect of things, and we just click and start turning things on and start using them with our students. Well, here at I was reading the word Bitmoji. Here at Book Creator, we really do take student privacy very seriously. And so down here at the bottom of each card, you'll see a little thing that says App Privacy. And it says See Details because there's a little exclamation point here. So I'm going to click on the details. And when the privacy card pops up, you'll notice that there are 2 links, a link to the GWfE privacy policy and a link to the terms of service. Now, we understand that most teachers probably aren't going to click on these links and read the 42 pages of terms and service, right? So what our privacy guru has done is our privacy guru has taken time to create these little cheat sheets, all right, so that everybody can see what is the most important piece of each of these tools. So for GWfE, for example, what's good to know is you don't need a separate account. So we don't need to worry about trying to create accounts with our students. And that Book Creator makes anonymous all of your information and all of the student information. All right. So that's really important. Good stuff there. So right now I might be like, yeah, let's turn this button on. But down here, we need to be aware of some things. So be aware. First off, nobody under the age of 13 should be using GWfE. And specifically, nobody under 16 if you're a citizen of the European Union, United Kingdom, Liechtenstein, Norway, or Iceland. So it's important to note these things because if you are truly interested in the student privacy, and I'm a 2nd grade teacher, for example, I should know that my students should not be using GWfE because they're not over the age of 13. The other thing that we also make you aware of is that anything you search in GWfE's search box is visible to GWfE. So if you were to put your address into GWfE, for example, you probably shouldn't do that, right? Because GWfE has access now to that address. And so we don't want you to do anything that you probably shouldn't do. All right. So every one of these items or every one of these apps that you can add directly into your books have these privacy policies. Now, I am going to click on Bitmoji because this one is a bit different. And the reason this one is a bit different is because when I click on the privacy details, you'll note that Bitmoji is not available for students under any circumstances. Book Creator makes anonymous the information, and once Bitmoji has an avatar has been added to the book, the avatars are always loaded on Book Creator's servers, right? So we're not bouncing information back and forth to Bitmoji, which is really good. But the reason this one is only available for teachers is, quite honestly, Bitmoji is owned by Snapchat, and a lot of schools are like, not a chance, specifically if you're under 13, and you do need to have a separate account for that. So a lot of schools are not going into the process of having students creating their own Snapchat accounts. All right, so definitely want you to take a look at these different privacy policies, because many of them are probably have some information in there that you were not aware of. All right. Down here at the bottom, animated emojis is one that I will pull up. It does say app privacy. There is no warning. There are no app warnings for this one, but if I click on the details, you'll see why. No age limit, no separate accounts are needed, and all image search terms stay within Book Creator on the server. So that is a tool that we have created independently, and so you don't need to worry about that. All right, so here again are all of the different apps. And so now I'm going to show you what those apps would look like inside of a book. All right, and so again, I'll just make sure I find a blank page here. I have turned on all of the apps except for Bitmoji. So I've turned on all of the apps, and if I'm in my book, if I click the plus button, which is the most important button in Book Creator, I have my media, which we are used to. We've used it before, so I can add images, camera, pen, text, and record my own audio. I have my comic buttons down here at the bottom. I have my shapes tool here in the middle, so I can add some awesome shapes into my book. But now we have an amazing button that says more. And when you click on the more button, you will see the apps that your teacher or in this case, the ones that I have turned on for my students. If I need to add more, I can click the add apps button and I can add more at any point. So nothing too difficult. Again, very simple. They're always the same. Always try to make things as easy as possible. So I'm going to click on GWfE here, for example. And I suppose the educational value of animated GIFs is probably a completely separate webinar. But I do believe that there is some, and I think they're really fascinating. And I've actually done quite a few Twitter chats where I've asked serious questions and I want serious answers, but you're only allowed to answer the questions in GIFs. And it is amazing to me the level of I don't know, the deepness that you can get in an answer by adding an animated GIF to something. All right, and so I'm going to look here and I can search GWfE if I want, or I can just kind of scroll down and see what's popular. All right, now I like pizza, so I'm going to click on this very first one, and it's going to simply add that animated GIF right there into a book. So can you imagine writing a story, right, where a student is saying, on Tuesday, I was so excited to go home because it was National Pizza Day, and I couldn't wait to order that pizza that evening. I love pepperoni and cheese on my pizza. And then adding an animated GIF at the bottom that just enhances the story in some way. So I absolutely love adding these animated GIFs. Now, one of the things that I don't like about GIFs for the most part is that right now, this one is just a giant square. So if I wanted to put a pizza shop background on my page here, I found an image of a pizza shop and I wanted to add this animated GIF right on top, it would look silly because I'd have this beautiful picture of a pizza shop and then this square animated GIF right on top. Well, in GWfE, not only do we have our GIFs, but we also have stickers. So if I typed in pizza for my stickers, then I can click on the pizza that I want and add that to my page. And so now I can have the pizza shop background, maybe add some characters or something in there, and then this animated GIF that has no background to it. So I'll see the pizza shop in the background very clearly. All right, so I absolutely love these animated GIFs. All right, plus button, more. The next one down is 3D models. Now, this one I think is a showstopper, especially if you teach something other than English, language arts, writing, and reading. All right, so a lot of times math teachers, science teachers, they love Book Creator, but they're always trying to find new ways to use it. And so one of our new partnerships that we have is with a company called Sketchfab. And so Sketchfab is really cool because it gives you amazing 3D models that you can add to your books. And so if I scroll down, maybe I go to science and technology, I click on these lungs here, it takes a second or two, it's going to load that 3D model. And when it's loaded, you'll see in 3D this amazing model of the lungs. Now, this one is actually unique because not only does it load the model itself, but there are also these numbers throughout the model. And what those numbers do is it allows you to click on them. So if I were to click on number 20 here, for example, that is the pulmonary trunk. If I was to click on number 15, that is the left subclavian artery. All right. Now, I don't know what any of that means, but if I want to, I can rotate and I can look around all of the different parts of this model. So very cool stuff. And I can click the add button and it adds that 3D model right there inside of the book. All right, and so I love this. Again, I think this is great science. There's engines, there's cars, there's animals. There are so many different things inside of that Sketchfab. Also under the More tab, feedback stickers. I love feedback stickers. Students do their work on the page. This is very simple. As a teacher, you can now add some awesome feedback right there to the book. My dog loves the feedback stickers as well. So I'm going to click on this one that says very good. So I've got student work on the page. I think they did a really good job. I am so sorry about this, by the way. I click on the sticker and it now adds that sticker right to my book. I don't know about you, but these remind me of the scratch and sniff stickers from like the 80s when I was in school. So anyway, I love the scratch and sniff stickers, the feedback stickers here. All right, so you can give feedback to your students and let them know how well they're doing in their work. All right, another one that we have is animated emojis. So most of these are the pretty standard emojis that you're used to. But if you scroll down, you'll see some other ones that are really cool. And so I love, for example, like the high five. We've got some stars and some fire here and some cars and fishing poles and all kinds of stuff. Oh, I like golf, so I'm going to click on the golf one. And as you can see, the animation happening right there. So again, just a really awesome way for students to enhance their stories and for teachers to enhance the stories. And I do think that this is really cool. Again, it just kind of gives that extra pop to your stories. You could use it for vocabulary. There's so many different ways you can use these animated emojis. All right, also under the More tab, we do have an integration now with Canva. So for those of you that are familiar with Canva, it allows you to go into Canva and then continue making some things in there. And they have worked with us to create some really cool templates. So here's one, number towers. I'm just going to click on that. And it adds this really awesome page. And you can just click and edit anything that you need to edit here. And then when you're done, you click add to book. And now it takes those amazing creations you can create in Canva and it brings it straight into Book Creator. And then I can click the plus button and add all of my amazing Book Creator goodies right on top. All right. So absolutely love this integration with Canva. And again, I think specifically at the high school level, if you're looking for ways to kind of step up your game a little bit, this is a great way to do it. And then last, under the More tab, I know that we're kind of running out of time here, and I think there might be some questions in there that need answered. But also under the More tab, for those of you that are familiar with Book Creator, we have moved a few things around. Google Maps used to be under Media, same thing with Drive, Files, and Embed. Those have now moved over here to the More section. So if you're interested in maps, that is now part of our paid version. In Google Drive, Files, and Embed, you can bring in files from your computer. You can embed files from other sources like YouTube and Vimeo and Desmos calculators, and you can bring in stuff from your Google Drive. So again, for those of you that are super excited about trying Book Creator, I highly recommend going to app.bookcreator.com so that you can try those things out. Our website is filled with information, including all of our social media channels. We are on Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram. So if you go to all of those tools and our social media sites and search Book Creator, you will find us. We are active on all of those, and we definitely encourage you to be part of that community and really enjoy Book Creator. And for those of you that have used Book Creator before, hopefully those new features are exciting to you and you can't wait to use them with your students. after you read the student privacy policy for each of those tools. Oh, and I do want to say one other thing for schools that have purchased Book Creator. This just came out this morning. For schools that do have access to Book Creator as a larger purchase, we do give you access to an admin console. And in that admin console, you can actually globally block any of those apps or allow any of those apps for your teachers. All right. So again, I just want to say thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate it. I am going to stop sharing my screen here and I will turn it back over to Pilar.
Hey, John, that was amazing. So many things that you can do. But I have a question because
Yeah.
I have like very little creativity. So I'm a science teacher, right? Um, how would you, how do you think I could apply this in my class?
That's a great question, and you put me on the spot, right? And I always try to pride myself in being able to answer any curriculum question that anybody gives me. All right, so here it is. How
Okay.
would I use Book Creator in a science classroom? On a simple level, I would say, and I would say this is very important, especially during remote learning, right? When everybody was home and nobody was in school and things like that, I saw a lot of teachers creating their own educational content in Book Creator and then sharing that with the students so that they had a digital version of a textbook at home that they could flip through and learn everything that you wanted to learn to teach them. So that would be number one. Now, in the classroom, hopefully, right, because we're all starting to get back into the classroom, my new favorite thing for science is interactive lab manuals. So when a student is doing a lab, right, if I remember being in science class, this is what happened. I did the lab, I did my notes on the paper. When I got my grade, I threw them straight in the trash and I forgot all about them because labs were not my favorite thing. But with Book Creator, students can do the labs, they can take pictures, they can add audio, they can add videos of the experiments and what actually happened, put them into a book, synthesize all that information, and it's there forever, right? They can't get thrown in the trash. It's there. They can always remember that. And you, as a teacher, can even take their manuals from one year, share them with the next group of kids, and say, hey, psst, these were pretty good, but I bet you can do better. Let's see if you can step up your game this year. So I love labs, interactive lab manuals in science class.
I love it because I actually do have them do a kind of like a science journal. They have to do the document for the lab report. I don't ask for lab reports, but I do ask that they have a pre-lab prepared, the pre-lab report prepared, so they know what we're doing in class. So this sounds like an amazing idea that I hadn't thought about it.
All right.
And I don't we don't use a textbook right now. And I'm just giving them like content to research and stuff like that. But I like the idea of making my own book. Hmm.
My students, I had a group of sixth grade students one time who said to me, Mr. Smith, look, we hate the math textbook. It doesn't make sense to us. The names don't match us. We can't stand it. And I said, well, I understand. I said, but if you think you can do better than a multi-million-dollar textbook making company,
I
put
know,
your money
right?
where your mouth is, right? Go for it. And they did. And so my sixth graders actually created their very own textbook called Math Our Way. And it was fantastic. And I totally understood that my kids knew math after they were done with that textbook. So
I love the idea. Like
you
a
can do
final,
it.
I was thinking actually like a final type of project because I recently got my account, and because I'm a Google trainer, they gave me like the the license, right, the pro. And I was thinking like, how can I use it? How can I use it? Something that could last for like longer period of time, like a long term project. And I thought about them having to do kind of like a book of all the things that we've seen because I do give them a final exam with like everything that we saw through a year, not a semester. So those are great ideas. Thank you so much, John, for
You're
coming
welcome.
and sharing all your knowledge. And I'm probably gonna be bothering you at some point.
It's not a problem.
Do you have your socials that we can share?
Yeah, I think I mentioned it. I don't have them off the top of my head, but if you go to Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube, and search Book Creator, you're going to find everything. If you go to YouTube and search Book Creator, you're going to see our channel with all of our recorded webinars. The socials are right there on our website as well. So if you just go to our website and scroll all the way down to the bottom, you'll see all those social links there.
How about yours? If they want to follow
Mine
you on
is,
Twitter.
oh yeah. So on Twitter, I am the iPod teacher. People keep asking me like, why aren't you like book creator John or something like that? And so my Twitter handle goes old school. All right, so the iPod teacher on Twitter.
The iPod teacher. Uh, because I saw in your bio that you were an Apple Distinguished Teacher, right?
That is true. Yes. I'm well. Technically, I can't be an Apple Distinguished Educator right now because I'm not in a school. But yes, I was an Apple Distinguished Educator class of 2015, and so love being part of that group.
I think I wrote it wrong on the chat. The iPod teacher. I changed two letters. All right. Thank you so much for coming, and thank you so much for book creator for the gifts. A lot of teachers are right there saying like, "Thank you for the gift. Thank you for the gift." So thank you everybody for showing up. Thank you for sharing with us, John.
You're
And
welcome.
I'm gonna let you go now. Thanks.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Bye bye.
So everyone, don't forget to fill out the feedback form. You have your three keywords for this session. They were passed before. I think we can do it a little bit more right now. Those are the three keywords. Don't forget, you need them for the feedback form to get your certificate. And thanks to Book Creator for this amazing session. They are giving us, for everybody who attended, one free license. So that's it, everybody. Thanks for coming. Bye bye.